Every MLS primetime Thursday game this season is brought to you in brilliant high definition on ESPN2. Welcome back to the Home Depot Center in Carson, California. It's MLS Primetime Thursday presented by Adidas. Glenn Davis, Eric Winalda, Tommy Smith, Alan Hopkins down on the field. Time now to take a look at our starting lineups presented by Adidas. And Eric, let's start it off with Chivas USA in their traditional 4-4-2.
Yeah, and this team is definitely informed. The experiment worked with Lawson Vaughn at that right back position, but this team's all about the midfield. I don't think they'll miss a beat with Nagamura being in there, but Jesse Marsch, for me, has really been the glue that puts this team together. The stats don't really show how good this guy is, but he's been a constant provider for those guys up front, a big reason why those two, Razov and Galindo, got 20 goals already.
Well, when you look at Chivas, it's basically a 4-4-2. Donovan is going to be in the middle. They've had a lot of problems, huge issues. 30 different players have started 20 games with them. Xavier has been a little bit nicked up, but he's very strong at the back. If he's in good health, he will certainly stretch you when you come through there. And he's a different cast of characters alongside of him. It's a case of people getting to know one another. He's a very, very strong player, and he will definitely check your passports as you come through there. Expect a big game from him.
Good look at Jesse Marsch, the veteran who has won 3 MLS Cups during his career. Let's take a look now at the United States Marine Corps team profile of the LA Galaxy, and they come in a different position tonight after having won against the Colorado Rapids. 17 points, lowest in Major League Soccer. They are the away team here tonight at the Home Depot Center, 0-6-3. 7 players out tonight. The injury crisis continues for a combined 48 starts missed.
Yeah, the only thing they really have in their favor is games at hand. They've got 4 games in hand on Colorado. They could still catch them, but it's got to be just driving them nuts with Chivas playing this much better than them. Whoever you want to call at home tonight, both of these teams love this stadium, so we'll see what happens.
Well, this is not a manufactured rivalry anymore because these teams have now played a handful of games. LA leads the series 7-2-2. They have outscored Chivas USA 18-9. The last time they met, though, Chivas USA, 2 goals from Michael Galindo, 3-0. The average attendance 30,812, and that was factored in a game on the campus of USC. Let's go down to the 4th member of our team, Alan Hopkins. Alan?
Thanks, Glenn, and good evening. To say that Chivas USA has come a long way in a short time is a huge understatement when you consider they had just 4 wins 2 seasons ago, their first in MLS. Now you fast forward to almost the end of the 2000s, Steven, and they have a chance with a victory tonight to take over first place for the first time in club history, and at the expense of their bitter crosstown rivals, the LA Galaxy. I talked to both Sasha Kleshin and Jonathan Bornstein, 2 key members of this Chivas USA turnaround. They both told me it's the biggest match in club history, and they're both ready to take it to the LA Galaxy and put a nail in the coffin of their season. Glenn?
Alan, thanks very much, and we appreciate that. Good insight from the sideline. Tommy, Chivas USA, pretty remarkable turnaround from 2 seasons ago when they only won 4 games.
Yeah, and it's amazing, isn't it? The Galaxy have only won 4 games this year so far. They're looking for their 5th game. But I think when you put any 2 teams together from any city, let it be Scotland with Glasgow, let it be in Argentina, let it be in Spain, or let it be here, there's something special. Bragging rights are for sake tonight.
And it's game on here at the Home Depot Center. Chivas USA in the red and white stripes, traditional from their sister club in Guadalajara. And the LA Galaxy wearing the white as Mike Randolph getting up for the header there on Galindo early. Galindo to the talented Sasha Kleshin, broken up by Kyle Martino. Chivas USA will get the throw, and I guess, Eric, the emotions, the ties between these 2 teams, they share the same facilities here. A lot of close contact between these 2 teams.
A lot of personal relationships as well. If you look at Nagamura, used to be here, played with Vianis and Donovan in the midfield. But I think the biggest thing that these guys are worried about are the numbers. Just the fact that this team could go worst to first with Chivas, and that's just driving the Galaxy players crazy. They still like to call this place home, but the way these teams have been playing, Chivas has got the bragging rights right now.
Guadiel Suarez to Jesse Marsch, who provides that wonderful shield for this back 4 of Chivas USA. Razov, one of the greatest goal scorers in MLS history, and that one broken up by Martino.
Well, we talk about games. Every game, the first goal is always important. But when you look at this game tonight, neither of these teams have ever come back after giving up the first goal to win a game this season. So it's a huge first goal in a situation like that.
Mendoza now, one of the few holdovers from 2 years ago where basically this franchise underestimated the strength of Major League Soccer. And here is Claudio Suarez to Bornstein.
But Clint, to that point, I mean, of course they've made a lot of mistakes. I think internally it took a while to get this group together. Here we go again.
Well, Marsh and Vahenas already showing you how thick the emotions will run tonight in this Super Classico. Marsh was pulled off in the 60th minute in their victory over the New York Red Bulls, but is getting the start tonight.
Alex Cruz is going to talk to him. He gets the yellow, actually. We'll see what happened here. He's going to get it for that, for the reaction. He didn't get in just much trouble for that from Peter Vahenas, but emotions are going to be high in this game, and you got to understand that both of these teams, and we talked a little bit about the midfield battles, that's it right there. Those two guys, that will happen again.
Well, let's not forget the last time these two teams met, Chivas USA with a 3-0 victory, and in that game, Jesse Marsh laid into David Beckham, and that ensuing melee led to the suspension of Alex Utinka, who is also not available tonight, and LA has got tons of injury problems. Lawson gone now. They get a second defender over Mike Randolph.
And don't forget as well, Pete Vahenas, he was the one that said that this is our home, they pay rent, so there's a lot more to it out there tonight.
Lawson Vaughn. Shavar Thomas, Razov nodding the header towards Galindo.
I would expect Chivas to do a lot of running at the defense here because LA have given up 30 goals from inside of the box. So the key is to get the ball in tight and work your forwards inside.
Mendoza now. And there was question where Landon Donovan would start tonight, Eric. But obviously they want to get him powering forward in that breathtaking pace and ability that he's got on the ball.
And he showed up tonight. You've seen him go in a few times on tackles.
Nice 1-2 question. And Razov, offside flag is up. What a great idea from the young Sasha Kleshchin. And Tommy, this has got to be one of the brightest young talents in Major League Soccer, Sasha Kleshchin.
Yeah, he's very patient. He does the right things. He makes sure he keeps it simple. This thing is very close. He drops it inside into space, but good call by the officials.
They have split their 3 games, 1-1-1. With the tie tonight, Chivas USA would get awarded the Super Classico trophy on goal difference. But they want the full 3 points because they can catapult defending champion MLS Houston Dynamo into first place in the Western Conference. And they've got 3 games in hand on the Dynamo. Martino back to Vahenas. Donovan. Thomas, question, nice quick ball there. Nagamura. Mendoza in space here, and he's got a lot of it. Xavier. Mendoza, shot, and a save cannon here in the 6th minute. But they can fly on the break, Eric.
I'll tell you, I was a little surprised by that. Mendoza usually looks to pass, and you got to break it going the other way now.
Pavone now with space. Flips it in towards Gordon. Over everybody, headed away by Bornstein temporarily. Jones at the top of the box. And finally, Vaughn heading it away. Here's Kleshchin. To Ante Razov. So we see the pace of this one pick up here inside 6 minutes.
I really like the way Chivas moves the ball. You can see the 1- and 2-touch stuff. Jesse Marsh is going to be the orchestrator of most of that stuff.
Here's Kleshchin now, who, like Mendoza, will come inside. Galindo. And Galindo call for the foul on Landon Donovan. Well, we go back to the last time these teams met, and remember this, Jesse Marsh laying into David Beckham here, and the emotion and intensity of that one just flying, and then today Vahenas getting the tackle in on Jesse Marsh.
It only took about 2 minutes for the back payment.
Flying towards the back post.
I think both these teams have watched that video a few times. I mean, they have to look at the set pieces. They have to look at, the way that they got beat in that game. So
I would say Vahenis was lucky he didn't get a yellow card as well, because he certainly made contact with Marsh and he pushed him.
Top of the box, Landon Donovan now with his head up, slipping in Jones. Good opportunity here for the Galaxy and headed away by the Emperor, Claudio Suarez.
Looks like an opportunity for Landon to pull the trigger, but instead he decides to play it off diagonally. I thought he had a good chance to shoot.
More from Donovan, cross pitch, a deflection, and the Galaxy will earn the first corner of this game in the 8th minute.
Donovan getting the assist on Sunday against Brazil on a corner kick from the other side. He's getting better and better at this, though.
Xavier, Ty Harden getting forward, all prime headers of the ball. Alan Gordon as well. They clip it in towards the 6. Gordon gets up, but the header over the top, goal kick, Chivas USA. Good start from LA, Eric.
Yeah, you have to say so. I mean, I think the way that Chivas plays forces you to chase a little bit in the midfield, but they haven't done that tonight. You see Frank Yelp trying to figure out how they're going to at least get settled into this game. And last time, it was not good. It was just they were chasing the ball all the time. Couldn't figure out a way to take the air out of the ball, so to speak. So, take a look at the players out tonight.
Yeah, this list just goes on and on. Kevin Harms is also out. They're waiting for Ante Yazak, who's getting closer. Edson Buttle getting injured, and of course the big one, David Beckham.
And you look at it, it's not just tonight, it's been a consistent team all season. I mean, as I said earlier, they've used 30 players in the starting role. That's an incredible turnover. It's very, very difficult to put a team together.
Guys, I got to tell you, though, how about Chris Albright? I mean, that's the one I put the big circle around because of the fact that L.A. and Abel Xavier has had to really deal with a lot of young defenders.
That's a great point. I think Chris has proven that he's a great asset to any team out on the right because he can still come forward on set pieces.
Gordon, Martino, back to Gordon. Can he get there? No, Guzan. Off his line for Chivas USA, and what a story he is. Brad Guzan was absolutely shelled in year one with Chivas USA, a young goalkeeper thrust into a starting role after an injury to Martin Zuniga. And many wondered if he was going to be able to get through that, Eric, in year one from a mental perspective as a young
I'll tell you what, he had a lot of practice. I mean, let's put it that way. I mean, if you're getting shelled, a lot of those weren't his fault. I mean, the numbers were bad, but Brad Guzan has grown a lot in the last couple of years. It's been exciting to see him. He's even got called to the national team. So,
with more on Brad Guzan, let's go down to Alan Hopkins. Alan?
Hey, guys, I did talk to Joe Cannon about Brad Guzan's emergence, and he said that maybe getting shelled that first year, just as Joe Cannon said he did in his first season in San Jose, has really helped Brad emerge as one of the better goalkeepers in MLS. And the observation I have to you guys, the way he's played so well this year, is I think he's on pace to be exactly where Tim Howard was a few years ago when he left the then Metro Stars, and now for England. He's only given up one rebound goal. That was last Thursday against DC all season, just to show you how far he's come along this year, guys.
Thanks, Alan.
Bold prediction from Alan Hopkins.
Wow, you took the words right out of my mouth.
I keep saying this all the time. If you want to be successful in this league or in this country as a goalkeeper, shave your head. You're going to go with the Tommy Smith.
Yeah, I think also
they're all bald.
Make sure you stop the ball getting into the back of the net too. That also helps. 21 goals in 22 games. That speaks volumes for the goalkeeper, doesn't it? Even if he does have a little bit of hair.
Xavier was fouled. Free kick now. And let's not forget Guzan now is playing behind the second best defense in MLS. Gordon got up. I guess in those early days he may have been facing 9-10 shots a game, and now he's probably facing 3 or 4 quality chances a game. Towards Galindo. Ty Harden off his head back to a 2-time MLS Goalkeeper of the Year, Joe Cannon.
Well, that's what comes with consistency, Glenn. When you have players who are playing all the time, you can come up with 5 clean sheets in 7 games like Chivas has. And, everybody's getting to know one another. Everybody's playing for one another. The keeper's in command back there. You can see him calling guys up and giving the shout. That's very important for a young goalkeeper. Plus, he has the Legion behind him, cheering him on every time he makes a stop.
Those great Chivas USA fans who've added all that color to tonight's game as supporters groups in Major League Soccer continue to make a difference in the stands. Here's Landon Donovan now. Carlos Pavon. Guzan.
You know, on the tactical side of things for LA, I'm still kind of a little bit puzzled at why they don't try to get a guy like Kyle Martino a little bit wider at times and let him do his thing on the wing. It just would spread this game out so much more. It might be because he's as a central midfielder. He's out there on the left now. His first touch always seems to take him inside. Like to see that. He's so talented. Like to see him taking people on.
Here's Mendoza trying to bring in Question, who had just made a long run. Donovan now. To Mike Randolph, who has gained opportunity with all the injuries.
There's a little misread.
Pavone was checking back to him, and he went over the top.
Oh, he just overplayed the ball. There was no need to. Donovan picked him out nicely. He had plenty of time, plenty of space, and I think he just panicked a little bit on the ball.
Make sure you stay with us at halftime because David Beckham will be up in the booth here, and he's going to get grilled by all three of us as we talk to the player that has made such a difference, certainly from an awareness standpoint for Major League Soccer. Heavy tackle there. Has Bornstein down.
What are we having, a barbecue at halftime?
The fourth and final meeting between Chivas USA and the LA Galaxy. And Chivas USA remain the only undefeated team at home in Major League Soccer. Ante Razov now. Galindo. Here's Randolph to Carlos Pavon.
Galindo looks a little off tonight. I mean, a couple of the passes that he's gotten hasn't been the best service, but
Martino, this looks good for LA. Gordon gets it switched on the right side to Chris Klein. Klein, Jones making a run in front of him, goes back to Pete Vagenas. To Landon Donovan. Tried to pick out Martino on the diagonal run, now Galindo.
again, they're just trying to squeeze it through those little channels. I mean, all you have to do is read the stats on this team. Chivas, meaning Chivas, so they're very difficult to beat through the middle, Glenn. It's very difficult to make those little passes with the right pace, to have the perfect run, the perfect timing. They got to get around them.
Will they squeeze Mendoza, the two wide midfielders in, huh?
They have to, and you know what? But I really think that has been most impressive about this Chivas team is a guy like Preki, as offensive-minded as he is, has been able to put together a team that's this good defensively. Maybe it's because he knows what he hates, but I'll tell you, it's pretty impressive to watch this team close up the gap.
Well, having spoken to him today, I'll tell you, he was very, very animated about the fact that this is a one-day-at-a-time thing. It's all about bringing it during training. Landon Donovan with huge space now down the left side for L.A. Lawson Vaughn in pursuit. Martino. And Jesse Marsh to the rescue temporarily. Still Martino.
That's the good feed.
Puts it in. Pavon slammed on it. And cleared by Nagamura. Oh, what a chance for Carlos Pavon. Klein now has pushed into the attack. Pavon tries to lay it down to Gordon. Shot it over the top. Great header from Pavon into the channel for Gordon. Couldn't put it on target.
Great move by Jesse. By Martino here at first, and then when the ball comes inside, as we got a view of David Beckham there, Kelly Gray had the opportunity to snap this one into the back of the net. Lovely little header inside to him. He pulls on it in the air. Never really got control of the ball, but Martino made a beautiful move.
And you see the expression from David Beckham and some of his LA Galaxy teammates here in one of the suites at the Home Depot Center. 16th minute, we're tied at 0. Best chance of the game so far as you look at David Beckham. The right knee in the Superliga loss to Pachuca, and coupled with the ankle injury as they try to pick out Galindo. Here's Vagenas now. And a bad ball. Should have been cut out by Mendoza, but it's not. Kobe Jones.
I think that's what you were talking about with Martino, Eric, isn't it? I mean, just hold on to the ball like that. He can work a little bit of magic inside or outside.
Yeah, he's got talented feet. I mean, I think that's always been the case with Kyle Martino, but you'd like to see him pull a little bit wider, have a better starting point. I think it's all about starting point and finishing points when you talk about wingers, and they should take a page out of Chris Waddle.
Mendoza. Galindo is onside. And that was a scary moment for the LA Galaxy because they did not get pressure on Francisco Mendoza, Tommy.
Yeah, and you got to pick him up, and Galindo looked like it was very, very close, but the flag stayed down. That's all that counts. He didn't get the shot off.
Randolph now. So the pace and tempo of this one lifting a little bit. Martino. Kyle Martino coming over from the Columbus Crew. Ty Harden gets in and is called for handling. Free kick to Chivas USA now, 18th minute. They have got a great balance of veterans and young players, Chivas USA, and basically Brecky said, you know, I just carried on what Bob Bradley has done, made a few subtle changes, and one of those not so subtle in acquiring Michael Galindo.
Now look at them, they just constantly are trying to get the ball, squeeze it through the middle. It's very difficult against this Chivas squad. Nagamura and Marsh are going to make sure the channels are not there. There's again Martino going inside.
Eric, is LA good enough on the flanks?
Well, I think they are. I just think positionally they need to change their mind frame a little bit. It's difficult for Martino. He's normally a number 10.
Question, back and Harden in. Top the box is Galindo. Left-footed shot right on. Easy one for Joe Cannon. But finally they get Galindo a little bit more involved.
Not a bad strike from outside. Definitely better with the right foot, but still pretty good strike on goal. Not much for Cannon, but still maybe a sign of things to come.
Randolph stepped up. Here's Vahenas now out of UCLA. Been with the Galaxy his entire career, winning 2 MLS Cups. Pete Vahenas. When we talk about that wide play, we were reminded that Chris Klein playing as a right back. He carved his reputation out as one of the best wide midfielders in MLS in Kansas City. Lawson Vaughn now. Nagamura. Good touch from Mendoza, let him down. Klein wins it back. Here's Landon Donovan now. Carlos Pavone. And he's dumped by Nagamura. Free kick for LA. You sensing LA confident, Tommy?
Yeah, it seems to have a little bit of a swagger, something that it didn't have for a lot of games. But, you know, you come off a good win like they got over the weekend. It gives players a little bit more confidence. And tonight, of course, being the Super Classico, if tonight's game doesn't get you up, well, then there's no game going to get you up. It doesn't make any difference who you play.
I go back to that Super League game as well. It was an amazing performance by this squad. I thought 1-1 taking it into the penalty kicks and eventually losing, but still, it was a great performance, great confidence boost for this team.
Pavone against Shavar Thomas. This is one of the most active nights that I have seen Carlos Pavone put in, Eric. He has not seemed that mobile since coming to LA, but tonight he seems very motivated.
He's never been able to catch stride. I think that's the problem. He's just picked up little knocks along the way. He definitely has something to offer. I mean, he looked like he was going to be David Beckham's favorite new target after the New York game, but he just hasn't caught stride. He's still a player that you got to keep an eye on, though. This could be a good game for him.
Here's Landon Donovan, and he turned down going back to play with the Honduran national team for 2 games in order to remain here with the LA Galaxy. Question won it back, plays the 1-2 with Jesse Mark. Razov to Galindo. Some good soccer here from Chivas USA. Galindo is in. Galindo to make it 1. Save Cannon. Oh, he waited him out. Joe Cannon with a huge save on Michael Galindo.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Those runs into the box. Galindo makes a beautiful run here. Good passing. And then Joe Cannon just stands. He just stands his ground. Watch this. Galindo gets inside of Randolph. He goes around and Cannon just puts the arm out. Makes himself as big as he possibly can be, and it worked.
Well, let's not forget, against the New York Red Bulls, a similar situation, and Ronald Waters went right to the ground.
Yeah, and he took the bait. I think, as Tommy was saying, Joe Cannon just stood his ground on this play. I mean, Vinas tried to catch him, but once he got in front of the net, he just elected to try and go over the shoulder. It's one of the things that you don't really recognize a lot of times about goalkeepers. A guy like Joe Cannon is willing to take it right in the chops. He doesn't care. He's going to come out. He's going to be strong. Goalkeepers call him making themselves big. Made Galindo miss on that play. Yeah. Waterous, like you said, went straight to the ground. He just little dinked him over the top.
Cannon didn't commit himself at all. He just stood there. He put the arms out. He made himself a huge target, and it was up to Galindo to beat him.
Well, back when the Galaxy played Real Salt Lake a week or two ago, he basically told me he couldn't get out of bed. Here's Ante Razov.
He'll get back on that left foot if he can.
Razov against Xavier to his right shot, and a goal! Chivas USA! That struck first here in the 23rd minute. Ante Razov. His 107th goal in his MLS career.
And it looked like Xavier was thinking the same thing that I was thinking, that he was going to try and get back on that left foot. It's a great first touch, puts himself in a position where he can take him on. Xavier just gave it to him and just gets wrong-footed. That's horrible defending. Horrible defending. Watch how he leads with the right foot. He's got to get in a better spot, but now he's dead. He's absolutely dead in that position. Razov sees it. Did not take the bait, didn't get back to his left, puts it away.
Razov took him to the cleaners here, but it was good attacking ability as well. I mean, he switched the foot. You would think he was going to fire with the left. He hits it with the right, and he just sticks it in off the post. And what a goal scorer Razov has been.
Ante Razov bringing this stadium to their feet. And Chivas USA have the 1-0 lead here and possession. Towards Galindo.
First time I ever seen red and white snow. Oh, that's not snow, it's confetti, sorry.
Confetti raining down, and the Chivas USA fans behind Brad Guzan are going nuts after Ante Razov picked off goal number 1 in this one. And here you see his numbers behind Jason Price with 108. Now the coach of Real Salt Lake and DC United's Jaime Moreno.
Price might want to start thinking about subbing himself in. Get a couple more. Just pull off the Superman vest, you wear the suit, you pull it off, you go take a penalty kick. And
Chivas has got an outstanding record when producing the first goal, and basically that's been the trend around Major League Soccer this year. You get the first goal, high percentage of the time you get the result.
Well, the Galaxy, 13 times they've gone behind. They've only twice come back for draws. They've lost 11 of those games. So I talked about the first goal being so important.
And how much pressure does that put on you, Eric, when you're constantly playing down a goal or two?
Well, I think, for this team, they have never been able to get on track. I mean, it's you can flash the stats on some of the other Frank Gallup teams going back to San Jose, and what you'd have to say is that they're always getting that first goal. He's been put in a position that it's just night and day.
There is Frank Gallup in his second season, took over for Steve Sampson. 13, 18, and 10. Landon Donovan now to Ty Hart. Chivas USA with a 1-0 lead here at the Home Depot Center. It's the Super Classico, the fourth and final meeting between Chivas USA and the LA Galaxy. MLS Primetime Thursday is presented by Adidas. Impossible is nothing. And in part by Sierra Mist. It's that refreshing. And Honda Civic, live your best moment. And that best moment came from Ante Razov here tonight in the 23rd minute. Deceiving us all here in the booth, going to his right, Tommy.
Oh yeah, I was sure he was going to try to take it on with the left, and so did obviously the defender. Like Xavier thought he was as well. But it just teaches the value if you're a young player out there watching. Make sure you can hit it with either foot, because sometimes you only use that right foot for getting on the bus, but sometimes it comes in very handy to stick the ball in the back of the net when you have a defender thinking the opposite way.
Chris Klein, good ball to Landon Donovan, now tried to pick out Alan Gordon as Donovan got turned in the hole.
Gordon works so hard on this team. He makes himself available. Donovan looking for him that time, and Gordon he's starting to develop as a really good player. He's got a lot of talent. He's got an immense work rate.
Shavar Thomas going direct. It goes over everybody. Xavier will shepherd it back to Joe Cannon.
Going back to Gordon, I think he's got to start finding the net a little bit more, though, Tommy. How much longer you'll be in this league if you keep missing.
Well, and Eric, that brings up a good point, because with some better finishing, LA easily could have another 9 points and be right on the edge of the playoffs.
Right, and the way the season started, actually, a lot of games, a lot of one-goal games, a lot of those, I think we're getting better. I think we're getting better. Collectively as a group, trying not to get frustrated, but it's been way too much frustration in front of the net. They've never had a chance to really get their confidence going. It's the polar opposite for Chivas. They're so confident in front of the net, they just keep scoring.
Yeah, but I see the problem as being at the back. I mean, LA have scored 25 goals, but the amount of goals they've given up at the back. I mean, you look at them last year, they were the best team in MLS. The first 4 games this year only allowed 1 goal, and then all of a sudden the dam breaks open and they've allowed, 34 goals in 20 games. I mean, you can't blame a forward for that. You got to blame the defenders. But Eric talks for a forward's point of view. I talk from a defender's point of view. So
well, and let's not forget,
we differ.
Not as an excuse, but they have had an insurmountable amount of injuries, and they also had to deal with the unknown, which was the David Beckham factor.
And the Beckham cam.
And the pressure. And the distractions. But you got to play the game. I mean, you go out on the field, you got to leave all those things behind you, and it doesn't make any difference.
Well, you see Chris Albright there. That's a big part of the defensive problems that have occurred here in LA. And of course, David Beckham smiling there. The Galaxy are winning it commercially, putting people in seats and selling jerseys.
Look at these two.
The winning team.
They're not even watching the game.
Is Chivas USA.
What are they doing? Is that Harms and Kelly Gray? Come on, boys. Get your heads up.
Behanis to Ty Hart. Interesting dynamic between these two teams that share the stadium. Randolph. Behanis. Gordon. Back to Landon Donovan now, who gets it wide to Chris Klein, who's pushing more and more into the attack. Gordon! And broken up by Shavar Thomas at the moment of truth.
Gordon almost made me look like a fortune teller. He got a nick here. This ball just got away from him. A beautiful ball delivered inside. He's in the perfect position too. He takes up a good position in front of the goal. The ball just nicked off him, and then he got nailed himself.
They definitely got the worst of that one.
Well, Gordon has scored in 2 consecutive games for LA. As Landon Donovan set to take the corner. Towards the 6th. Shot from Xavier. Over the top.
Hadn't he a chance to redeem himself right there?
Oh, man, that's just painful to watch. Look at the spot he gets in. He loses Suarez. There's like 100 different things he could have done with that. David didn't like it.
You got to be impressed by David Beckham's commitment here to both the Galaxy and the league, and it has been impressive despite the fact that, he's accumulated the injuries, Tommy.
Yeah, you can see him in the box up there. He's kicking every ball with his teammates, and he's wishing every one of them would go into the back of the net.
Well, David Beckham will be up here at halftime joining us. So we're going to put him to work in the booth here a little bit. Xavier now.
That's great.
To Kobe Jones.
If he gets hurt, he comes after our job.
Yeah, I don't think our job's safe with him around. Galindo now. And right now, LA's struggling. Razov.
That's offside, but nothing new there. Razov will walk that line.
Here's Klein now coming the other way for the LA Galaxy.
Nice
to Jones.
Pass.
And Jesse Marsh with another one of those plays that you never...
They don't get enough credit. I mean, to follow it, to chase runners, to not let the little dink pass just split those 2 4 sets. It's the little stuff. It's the little stuff that's winning games for him.
Razov gets turned. Landon Donovan dumps Razov. And Ante goes down and earns the free kick from the captain. 32nd minute.
So the chase from behind. It's caught him on the right leg. It's all right. Ante very seldom uses that, and he's probably done for a couple weeks with the right.
Used it very effectively tonight.
Yeah, he's probably done for a while with that one. He'll definitely be a left foot the next time he shoots.
Marsh standing over the free kick for Chivas USA. Claudio Suarez has come forward.
He's sneaking in there.
They go towards Suarez, headed out firmly by Alan Gordon. DeHanis will get there. Mendoza.
It's just they're looking for the home run. They're looking for the touchdown pass. You know, it's like they don't even give it. Yeah, you see the red shirts got the ball back, and they had an opportunity to maybe build something.
Javar Thomas out of the University of Connecticut to Ante Razov. Razov beats one. Fending off DeHanis using his body beautifully.
This is great soccer right now. It's great stuff.
Comfort on the ball from Chivas USA. And confidence through passing here in the 33rd minute. Mendoza.
And all the knockdowns just seem to find their way back to a Chivas player.
Razov trying to hold off Harden. Jesse Marsh almost bursting through. The 2007 FIFA Women's World Cup continues on ESPN. Tomorrow, the U.S. taking on the third-ranked team in the world, Sweden, at 4:55 a.m. This is a huge game for the U.S. women. Then at 7:55 a.m., England facing defending champions Germany. The Women's World Cup is live on ESPN and ESPN 360.
I took a lot of stuff. I'm not going to let football call it for saying that I thought that North Korea was the real deal. The U.S. had to be careful with that team. From the soccer bloggers, the real geniuses of the world. I think Greg Ryan really screwed up in that game. I really do. I thought the substituting, it was all there. They got overdone in the midfield. Going to have to adjust. I mean, we got to hope that girls start playing better.
Well, that game against Sweden tomorrow is absolutely huge because everybody in their group now with 1 point. Pavone gets it over. This is Martino. Brings it down beautifully to Randolph. Will drive it into the box. Kobe Jones chests it down. Landon Donovan wants to flick it in and cleared by Mendoza. Oh, what a chance for LA. And maybe the counterattack is on here for Chivas USA. Mendoza. They've got 5 in the attack now.
So 5-on-5.
Razov.
He's shooting.
Left-footed shot. He hit it a ton. It jumped off his foot, but went wide to the left of Joe Cannon.
All right, let's go back to one of the pretty good chances. Watch the goalkeeping on this play. As Guzan comes out, goes down, puts Landon really in a situation where he's got nowhere else to go. Great goalkeeping. And you see that, there's really nowhere to go. They clear it out of there, and they're back the other way.
And then Razov, he just nails one from about 25 yards out. It's curling wide all the time. Oh, a nice shot by Razov. It just couldn't get it on the target, but it just shows you how quickly that counter works for Chivas. They can get the ball up the field as quick as anybody.
Kobe Jones now to Martino. And that brings up a good point, Eric. Chivas USA can defend for extended periods of time with guys like Galindo and Razov up front. It becomes a good counterattack.
Of course, a lot of people argue that the best defense is a good offense, and it's great to have smart passers and guys that can run defenses when you can rest. The rest of those guys can rest every once in a while and know that these guys are going to try and make something happen. 2 versus 3, 2 versus 4, 2 versus 5. They're still getting goals.
Here's Joe Cannon, who has 4 shutouts on the year in his 9th season in Major League Soccer. Came over from the Colorado Rapids after winning the MLS Cup with the San Jose Earthquakes under Frank Yellow. What a story that is from the old San Jose teams that were not producing and then winning an MLS Cup with the Earthquakes. And great to hear that they will be back in Major League Soccer next year with all those great fans out in San Jose.
Yeah, soccer needs to be in the Bay Area. It just has to be. And I'm glad it's going back as well, Glenn. Frank Yallop had a great time up there. Not such a great time here down south yet. But if anybody's going to turn this thing around, though, people need to realize what a great coach Frank Yallop is. A lot of adversity this year. Well, that man will climb out of it.
Fact is, his team is still playing for him. I mean, that's the one sign, right? That's
a big part of it. And, I'm glad you said it.
Mendoza, Nagamura. Here's Ante Razov. He's definitely up for this one tonight. To Mendoza again.
I think I'm just watching this first half, and one of the things that you recognize, the biggest difference between the two teams is their trust of that pass. That third man running, when somebody else in the midfield has the ball, instead of ball watching and saying, oh, hope that works out, the Chivas guys chase the ball, and they trust each other that something good's going to happen. It seems like LA, when they finally decide to go forward, that third man just doesn't follow the play.
Here's Mendoza. Razov is at the top of the box. Francisco Mendoza. Right-footed shot, safe cannon. He didn't hit it well.
That's twice tonight from Mendoza. He's looking to shoot. Oftentimes you'll see him just lay those little passes in. It's a great spot for him to be, and then he'll make anybody nervous. In this occasion, it's Klein. Klein goes down, just not enough on it. You're not going to beat Joe Cannon far post unless you give something on it.
They're giving Mendoza a lot of room out there, but every time you look at him, it looks like the nearest defender to him is 15, 20 yards away. And if you're going to give him a running start every time, you're going to have real trouble.
Mendoza, one of the few holdovers from the initial year when Chivas USA was under Thomas Rongen. And let's face it, they basically thought they could come into this league with second tier and reserve team Mexican players, and they fell pretty hard pretty quickly. But boy, have they rebounded, and hiring Bob Bradley was the perfect potion to blend MLS and the history of a great team.
Hiring that guy too, having the thought that Pricky couldn't do it.
Lawson Vaughn towards the near post. Galindo's in there. Back to Vaughn.
Unlucky.
They ran out of space. Goal kick to LA.
Well, too many times, you got to think that when he gets in the box, you got to go at people, find a way to shoot.
SoccerNet top stories. Luciano Emilio again last night against Real Salt Lake scores. He's got 19. He's named MLS Player of the Week. With DC United's 2-1 win, they're the first team to get into the playoffs. And Euro 2008 qualifying, the big story, Scotland 1-0 over Paris. In Paris over France, and then England beating Russia 3-0. Michael Owen getting 2 in that. Women's World Cup. No action today. Tomorrow morning, the U.S. women taking on Sweden, 4:55 a.m. on ESPN. Don't miss that, because they will need 3 points in that one, Tommy.
Yeah, they sure will. And how about Scotland? They're sitting on top of the group, a group with France and Italy in it. And this time was just a little bit of pushing here, and he walked through him. Pavon gets nailed.
That's that same ankle.
Short one to Jones, who's got a lot of space here. Jones whips it in and chested down by Razov, back defending. And Nagamura clears.
David Beckham must be happy too with the way England have done, huh? 2 3-0 victories. One over Israel, one over Russia.
Things could be turning for the Three Lions. And a spectacular moment here as the Chivas fans unfurling what I believe is one of the largest banners, Eric, I've ever seen in my life. That's unbelievable.
That's incredible.
That is absolutely gorgeous.
Only problem is now they can't see the game. Or can you see through that thing? No.
Randolph now pushing into the attack. Nagamura, the Brazilian, breaking out to Razov. Here's Jesse Marsh. Galindo. Promising soccer being played here by Chivas USA. They have the 1-0 lead over the LA Galaxy. We're in the 41st minute. Ante Razov in the 23rd minute is the difference tonight at the Home Depot Center. Jonathan Bornstein. Has he been as sharp as we're used to seeing him as of late?
Well, he's kind of staying back tonight because Mendoza in front of him had so much of the ball, and he's just basically guarding down that left side, make sure nobody goes down there. But he's a very talented young player.
Here's Landon Donovan shaking off too. Landon Donovan, what a ball to Gordon. Goes on with a huge save. And there's the meal ticket for LA. How are they going to get Landon Donovan into the attack more in positions like that?
You know, he's trying to say, turn your body for me. You get me in a position where you can get a bit. What Landon's saying there is he had to make a full turn. He's got to, one of the things about Gordon is that he's always expecting the ball to come to his feet and lay it off. He's a little bit slow on his step. And let's, as well, I would have to say that pass was just a little bit out of his reach. Just a bit.
It's Xavier now to Jones. Pete Vagenas now. Back to Kobe Jones. And Chris Klein is fouled. So the first half beginning to wind down. Coming up at halftime, the Dick's Sporting Goods halftime report. We go back to the studio with a Sports Center update. You'll get a complete update on the Women's World Cup. And after that, David Beckham will be right here in the booth. David Beckham alongside Kelly Gray. Looking on, Frank Yallop told me the other day, said, after our 3-0 victory over the Colorado Rapids, David Beckham sent a text message to me congratulating the Galaxy on the victory and Yallop on the victory. So he is very vested in this team. Galindo trying to bring in Razov. How much pressure has been on Frank Yallop, guys?
Oh, I think the pressure's been incredible. I mean, he's had to deal with the build-up to it. He's had to deal with the way the schedule is set up. He's had to deal up with everything that's happening around him. And he's obviously been under a lot of pressure, especially the timing of David Beckham's injury couldn't possibly be any worse for the Galaxy, for Beckham, and for Frank Yallop. I mean, timing is everything in life, and just that injury came at the worst possible time.
I'd also say a lesser man or maybe a lesser manager would have crumbled already. But he's held his ground. I think he still has the trust of this team. And like Glenn pointed out, the boys are still playing for him. That's probably the most telling part of all of it.
Here's Shavar Thomas. To the feet of Razov.
From a hectic pace, it's almost like they've slowed it down now to a wall.
Xavier, second ball. Donovan chests it on to Kobe Jones.
But what they're doing, Tommy, it's they're letting the ball do the work. They're making the white guys, the white shirts chase. That's all they're doing.
Donovan with a self-pass around Bornstein. Mendoza comes in. Vagenas. Klein had made a long run down the right side. They looked him off. Here's Mike Randolph now. Both outside backs in the attack for LA. Randolph. Big question. Cross is blocked by Lawson Vaughn.
Well, he made a nice move to be in a position to get the cross in, but not a very good effort to get it by Vaughn.
Vaughn, who's been silent over the last 20 minutes. Galindo, and Galindo is making a strong run down the right side. And why didn't they give it to him? Sasha Kleshchin had a wide open Michael Galindo.
Chivas have done a good job too of making sure that midfield, that Jones hasn't had the kind of influence on the game that perhaps we might expect from him. Jones seen very little of the ball here in this first half.
1 minute of stoppage time has been added here at the Home Depot Center.
You've got to love this one-touch football that Chivas play, but they keep the ball on the ground. They don't take any chances with it. They just move it around. They're so confident of knowing where everybody is, and their touch is incredible.
Galindo.
And then they go.
With a bit of energy now at Xavier, trying to work the 1-2. Mendoza. Bornstein getting into the attack out on the left. Here's Kleshchin. Mendoza. And they are interchanging positions as well. Razov.
Well, they make the smart pass. They don't try and hit the home run. They're constantly trying to find the open guy, spread him out, find the opening, very patient. They run out of time this time.
That'll do it. Alex Cruz has blown the whistle to end the first half here at the Home Depot Center. Chivas USA with a 1-0 lead through Ante Razov. We'll be right back with a Dick's Sporting Goods halftime report, a Women's World Cup preview, and an interview with David Beckham of the LA Galaxy. Ante Razov is the difference maker here at the Home Depot Center. Chivas USA has the 1-0 lead over the LA Galaxy. And welcome back in, as we're pleased to be joined by David Beckham, and we appreciate you joining us here
Pleasure.
at halftime. Dave.
Pleasure.
First thing, obvious question here is, how is the knee? How is the ankle? And projected opportunity of potentially playing again in MLS play?
Well, the rehab's going really well at the moment. I'm working twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. So I'm doing everything possible to get myself fit for before the end of the season, which at the moment, if it carries on progressing like it is, then I've got a chance of playing before the end of the season. But I don't want to give a time, because who knows with injuries. But obviously the knee's giving my ankle a chance to get a lot better as well. So, you know, it's going well so far.
How about when it comes down to the decision of your playing time? Is it a collective effort from the organization, the coach and you? Is it your singular decision? How does that work?
Well, obviously it's down to the coach how long I play and when I play. But obviously I have to be fit. So if I'm fit, then I'll tell the manager that I'm fit, and you know, the management staff, and they'll decide how long I play. But you know, fitness side is obviously down to me and when I'm fit.
MLS so far, and you've looked at this league, I think a lot of people are very impressed with the seriousness you've taken upon yourself in this league and representing the Galaxy. Why were there so many people that didn't believe you were going to take it serious?
I don't know. There's a lot of obviously there's a certain amount of negativity out there, and you get that in all walks of life. But you know, everything I do seriously. Everything that I take part in, I want to win and be the best at, and that's the way I've always been all the way through my career, and even playing here now. You know, that's how I play.
Well, one of the questions I have for you is, I mean, we all were here last time. We saw Jesse Marsh have a go at you, but how have you been received from the other players in the league? I mean, how have you felt about all that?
It's been great. You know, they've all been, you know, really nice to me, and when I've been on the pitch, if they've kicked me, they've picked me up. So you know, that's even when obviously we had the challenge when Jesse kicked me in the chest. You know, these things happen in a game, and you know, sometimes you have heated situations, and that was one of them. But you know, he's a good player. These are a good team, and you get that in games, so it happens.
Well, speaking of players, anybody that has impressed you since in your time here at Major League Soccer, any name it might stand out?
Personally, I'd rather only talk about my teammates. So, you know, Landon.
Good
I
answer.
think, you know, for me, you know, he's a great player. Everybody knows him around the world. But playing with him, you know, you give him the ball, he can run at players and take players on. And, you know, for me, he's impressed me a lot.
David, it's a huge week for England to come up with 2 great wins, but there's also another English team that's playing, the English women. Have you been following them, and what do you think of Miss Smith's boot-kissing ritual when she scores?
No, I think, you know, the women have done well in their first game. They've won the first game, and, you know, she scored a great goal, and, you know, celebrations, everybody's got a different celebration, and, you know, she enjoyed that one, and she's got a right to enjoy it. You know, if she scores in a World Cup, then she has to enjoy it.
And congratulations and all that, because you were chosen today as one of the top best dressed in People's Magazine. Have you any hints for somebody like me that might get on it next year?
I didn't know that, but you look very smart. But
thank you.
No, obviously going back to the England questions, you know, the lads as well have done well in the last 2 games. We needed that. We needed a big boost, and you know, we got that from the 2 games.
David, before we let you go here, any areas you see the Galaxy might be able to take advantage of or get a little extra edge here against Chivas USA tonight from your observation after the first half?
Well, like I said before, you know, they're a tough team to play against. You know, if you get the ball off them, you've got to keep it, because if they get it back, then, you know, they keep the ball really well, and that's what you have to do. You have to get the ball off them, keep the ball, and then, you know, we'll get chances, because we've got players that can create chances and score goals. So if we do that, then, you know, we could end up turning this game around.
Well, listen, we appreciate your time up
Pleasure.
here, and we hope to see you back on the field as soon as possible.
Me too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, David Beckham joining us here at halftime, and we look forward to him getting back on the field here for the LA Galaxy in the future. Second half about to get underway. with Chivas USA going right to left. The LA Galaxy in white. And it's game on here in the second half at the Home Depot Center. Ante Razov. DeHaas wins it back. One change for Chivas. Jason Hernandez in for Claudio Suarez. As Alan Gordon gets it switched on the left side now to Kyle Martino.
Not to pick on Jason Hernandez, but that might be the break that the Galaxy needed. Suarez has had a pretty good half. Probably get Alan Hopkins on trying to figure out why he was substituted. It is getting a part of the season where you got to be very wary of picking up silly injuries. So that was a curious move by Preki. I want to find out what exactly that was all about.
Kobe Jones on the throw. Here's Carlos Pavone with the overhead scissors kick. Nobody in the box. And an awkward clear. Let's go now to Alan Hopkins on why Claudio Suarez has been substituted out.
Well, if you look, guys, the last few weeks, Claudio Suarez has not really been going 90 minutes, and this has been the straight substitution coming in because he has not shown the ability to really play 90 minutes at this level. I did talk to Preki as well. He said the key for them is not giving Landon Donovan a lot of free looks. He was not happy at all with how much space Landon had in the first half. He said being compact is going to be the key to the success here in the second half. I also talked to Frank Yallop. He said he felt like the team had a good first half, take away the goal. Otherwise, it was very even. But he says their problem, which has been the problem all year long, they're just not dynamic enough in front of goal. He'd like to get Landon closer to goal, but with their central midfield injuries, they have no choice but to play LD in the hole and hope for someone else to step up and take over the goal-scoring load. Glenn?
Alan, thank you. And Alan brings out a good observation with the injury to Kevin Harms. I guess, Tommy, it really puts Landon Donovan in a position he might have to do a bit of defending work, but he's getting a little closer to goal now.
Yeah, he's put himself in a good position tonight. He's made a few nice runs. He's laid off a couple of balls. He's had one scoring opportunity, but he was going away from goal at the time, and it's always difficult to put it in. But you got to be encouraged at the way he's playing. I mean, I think he's had a good game out there tonight.
Here's Bornstein now, who has not gotten forward a lot, but gets a decent goal inside, footed out by Xavier. Here is Donovan. And I guess that's their way back. Let's face it, Eric, Landon Donovan's the way back for the LA Galaxy.
Well, let's get his team again. You know, the captain's band has switched a few times. He's got a lot of responsibility. He looks a little tentative to me tonight. Looks a little tired. Maybe the travel has got him down a bit, but it's so difficult to put that much on his shoulders now with all that's happened already this year.
Yeah, but you got to say that, I mean, not alone is he the way back, he's the way forward, he's the way sideways. He's the man who has to make the difference here. He has to be their leader right now.
Klein tries to bend it in behind the Chivas USA defense.
To be fair, though, I'd like to see somebody else step up. I mean, it has to be at some point. Somebody else has got to do something.
Galindo causing problems for Horton. And Galindo will get called for the foul.
I'm not saying he has to do it all on his own. I'm just saying he has to provide the leadership and hopefully that everybody else will step up and play alongside of him. That's what I'm saying.
Let's take a look at our first half stats, sponsored by Tanqueray Rangpur.
The zero. Shots on goal. That's what you're staring at you. If you're sitting at home, you're like, what's with the zero?
But you go back to the chance. I mean, Xavier had a chance. Gordon had a chance. There's been a couple of opportunities that haven't been put on target, but the opportunities have been there, even though they haven't managed to get them on target.
Well, that's what I was talking about, Tommy. I think it's like, if maybe Landon's in that spot, he gets it on goal, maybe not, who knows. Gordon's, missed an opportunity, put it up with the fans. I think Xavier's chance was, I don't know, I didn't want to see it the replay. It was that bad. So, what my point is that you'd like to see somebody else outside of that guy shoot.
So when does Frank Yallop go to the bench? Because he does have pace in Gavin Glinton on the bench, and between Alan Gordon and Pavone, it's not defense stretching pace.
That's a great point, Glenn. I think it's got to come from the wings. I mean, as much as you can make of the great play of Pete Vinas and Donovan and their ability to make those little passes and surge, straight at the attack, getting Klein the ball, getting Kobe Jones the ball, out wide. would probably be the difference. They've made a switch. If you look at it, Jones is essentially at times you've gone back and forth, and he's back on the right now. But they might want to just mix it up a little bit. Get Jones out on the left. Get Kyle out on the right. Let these guys try and throw them off. It's just too standard. It's just too easy.
Early minutes of the second half. We had a nice visit from David Beckham up here in the booth.
He's a nice guy, you know what I mean? There's nothing disingenuous about the guy. He's real. It's kind of cool.
I think America's captivated by his humility.
Yeah, and I think the guy, he just proves all the time he wants to play football. He wants to be on the team. He wants to win. Nothing wrong with that.
Vahenis. Pavone couldn't control it. Another good opportunity for LA, and lack of control hurting them in and around goal tonight.
That's a fantastic pass from Pete Vahenis. It's a fantastic pass right on in stride for Pavone, and it just goes for naught.
Bad ball here from Cannon. Question. He's got Galindo and Razov. Shot, and he slammed on it. Oh, what an opportunity for Chivas USA to put a second goal in. And they don't pounce on the mistake by the Galaxy. Here comes Chris Klein now, who's maybe motivated from that last Chivas USA miss. And Jesse Marsh again breaking another play up.
And here we go again. See if they can run him.
Razov.
Well, the 15 minutes after halftime has been a disaster for the Galaxy so far this season. They've given up 9 goals in that period and are very lucky that it's not 10, because that one should have been in the back of the net. I mean, it was a 2-on-1 inside of the box, and he just couldn't put the foot down.
They go back to Shavard Thomas. Eric, they just do not seem able tonight to really penetrate and get in behind Chivas USA. They're masters of keeping the game in front of them.
That's a great point. Yeah, it's exactly right. I mean, tackling in the midfield is a pretty good idea. Alex Bruce is going to decide that wasn't a good tackle from Landon.
Oh, that's the second time he caught Razov, so I'd say Bruce is saying, okay, I let you away the first time. The second time, here's the little yellow card.
He's like, look, I never tackle. We could give me it for that. The captain's band didn't help at all in this play. Just a little late. I mean, I don't see that as a yellow card. I really don't. Look how fast Razov got up. It's like the 3-second stay down rule. If you get up that fast, it shouldn't be a yellow. Just a late tackle.
Are you going to write the Rook again, huh?
Yeah, I'm just making this stuff up as I go along.
I figured that. I figured it was something like that. I think it was a yellow card. It was a late tackle. He took him out of it. And I just want you to know something else.
Oh, you just want to argue.
I have it on record. David Beckham said I looked smart. Just so as you guys...
did look smart.
Yeah, that's what I said. You heard me.
All right, we agree to disagree on that last foul. We move on. We don't digress. Here's Sasha Kleshchin now. Taking off one, turning hard, and Sasha Kleshchin into the box.
And I'll let that go. Good chase from Martino.
How about Sasha Kleshchin, though? This kid's turned into a great two-way player in MLS.
When he runs at you like that in the box, it's a very dangerous situation. Here's another one.
Jones loses it in a bad area. Nick Xavier to the rescue. Kicks it off the feet of Galindo. But Chivas USA will get a corner here in the 54th minute.
Well, Kobe's had a few struggles out there tonight, Eric. He gave the ball away in a bad place there. He's had a tough time. They're closing him down very quick. They're not giving him any time with the ball. I mean, he's had a fantastic year, but tonight he's just under a little bit of extra pressure.
Let's see what Kleshchin can do. This will be an in-swinger. He hits these pretty hard. I still think they do a good job of getting somebody around that back post.
Headed out by Vahenis.
Nothing there.
Bornstein to Mendoza. Back to Kleshchin.
They've loaded up that back post now.
Lawson Vaughn has pushed forward. Kleshchin took a deflection. And another corner for Chivas USA. Kleshchin now getting more involved here in the second half.
Where those balloons come from?
Balloon factory.
Nagamura to take the corner. From Sao Paulo, Brazil, was once a reserve with Arsenal in England. Towards the 6, good-looking ball, headed straight down by Gordon. Shot up the crossbar. Oh, Galindo hit heavy metal. Razov shot, save Cannon at the near post.
It's not done yet.
Empty net, shot it wide from Lawson Vaughn. What a sequence from Chivas USA.
Oh, thrill, spills, excitement, and adventure in the box. This one could have gone anywhere. There were a couple of opportunities here. The first one comes here. The keeper gets caught on the line a little bit. Look at that. The crossbar is rattled Galindo. And then Razov, a little bit of a tight angle over on the far side. He forces the keeper into a good save. That's a brilliant shot. And this one just comes back. Not a very good header downwards. You can't afford to give the ball away like that in the box. And then Razov, very difficult angle, but he comes up with a really good shot.
And Preki hated all of it.
So LA has been fortunate not to be punished on self-inflicted mistakes here, and Frank Gallup obviously looking on very concerned, guys.
They could have put it away. I mean, the way it stands now, 1-0, it's still there. 2-0, it's a long, long way back.
Xavier heading it towards Chris Klein, and Klein is going to say, you know what? We alleviate the pressure, just stick it over the halfway line.
I just can't remember the last time I've seen Frank Gallup really smile. And we talked about the pressure he's under, but...
Another weak ball back from Vahenis, which skipped a few heartbeats from Galaxy fans. Pavone to Donovan. Martino has not been involved here in the second half. Razov now. Chivas USA playing with tremendous self-confidence under head coach Preki in his first year.
They have such belief in themselves, and then they have the skill to do it. I mean, look at the passing ability. They keep stroking them around. One-touch football.
Xavier steps up, gets a tackle in. And what a player Preki was. So many great moments we've seen him provide in MLS. 79 goals in his career for the two-time MLS MVP. And one of those MVPs he won past the age of 40.
Something wrong with being over 40?
Not at all. Oh, okay. I'm well over it, Tommy. Nagamura will get it back on the 1-2. Here comes Chivas USA now. Galindo in the box. Xavier got there.
Oh, and he had to get there because Galindo ghosting in on that back post. He was in on top of Cannon.
So look at this, Eric. Troy Roberts, a defender coming on for Kobe Jones. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, Tommy has just talked a little bit about Kobe's performance this evening. Not his best. It's kind of a tactical change. Maybe to put a little bit more pressure on the ball.
Into the mixer. This one headed out by Pavone. For the Los Angeles Galaxy, we're in the 59th minute. Ante Razov's first half goal is the difference. The fourth and final meeting this year of these two teams. Jesse Marsh now. Top of the box is Razov trying to line his left foot up. He brings in Mendoza with space on the left side. Harden clears it, and now Klein does. LA is doing everything just to hang on here.
Yeah, Roberts is going to go in at right full back, and Klein is going to push up on the right wing. They're going to push him forward. They're going to keep the new man at the back. Still be four at the back.
MLS Primetime Thursday presented by Adidas continues next week. We get our first look at Cuauhtemoc Blanco and the resurgent Chicago Fire. They take on FC Dallas. And he was once the highest paid player in the world. To Nielsen, the Brazilian. MLS Primetime Thursday next week, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN2.
Go ahead.
Sorry, if memory serves me correct, Glenn, I think we did a game where Blanco scored a goal in a World Cup finals game. That's a few years ago. I'm trying to put the year together. I'm not even sure about what.
2002 World Cup. I think it was against Croatia.
There you go.
I got to hang out. I got to hang out with him last week. I was at the Frank Klopas Celebrity Golf Tournament on Monday. Should plug that if I can. I got to talk to Osorio, and who doesn't like golf, by the way. He hated the whole day. But, you know, one of the things about Blanco is you could see that his team is taken to him. They do like him. He's been very professional, and he surprised a lot of people. I mean, they're having their day off and whatnot, but you could tell that he's very quickly, he's become a part of that team.
Oh, no question about his ability to score goals.
He has lived up to it in MLS, both on and off the field. And there was a lot of questioning, including myself. I was curious to see how he would adapt to the league, the officiating, lack of space, all those other things, Eric.
Well, there's no questioning the fact that he is an instigator, that he is going to make people crazy at times. And, you know, the thing is he's one of those guys that he's great when he's on your team, but you hate to play against him.
He's been great for Major League Soccer in 2007, a year that may go down as maybe the best when it comes to foreign acquisitions.
Watch the two-touch soccer. 1 and 2-touch soccer.
Well, you know, you talk about that. They're going to give out a new award this year, 2007, the best newcomer. I mean, wow. You have got Angel, Blanco, Connor Chasey, Emilio, Fred, Galindo. Scalotto, Toha.
I like Toha. I think we'll see him next week. That's one heck of a player.
Nagamura now for Chivas USA, who have dominated here in the second half. Borsing now cutting in on his right. And it was offside on Ante Razov or Michael Galindo. Take your pick. Let's take a look at the goal of the week, brought to you by Sierra Mist. This week it goes to New England Revolution forward Taylor Twellman, lashing this left-footed volley in after the pass from Cano Smith. This is one of the sweetest of volleys. Twellman's 12th of the year, and I know he's one of your favorites, Eric.
I mean, he just, you know, one of the things about Taylor is he's not the most talented player in the world, but it's even that goal right there, you could see that just the smart ability to find that little space where he's going to be able to shoot. You see a lot of guys trying to bring that straight down. He's smart enough to know that take it a little bit backwards before you go forwards, and you can see he's climbing the charts there in goals. I don't think anybody's going to catch Emilio, but Roman's getting back in it.
I'm stunned. You said he's not one of the most talented players in the world. That was a pretty talented volley I just saw.
No, I mean, what I mean by that is he's not the kind of guy that, he's not a Brazilian player. He's not one of the, he's going to, you know, have your tongue dragging. He is a great goal scorer.
One thing about him
he's
is
an Alan Shearer.
He never got his body behind that, but the leg extension, he had enough power on the leg to smack it into the back of the net. Very impressive.
Here's Donovan skipping through 2, skipping through 3. Donovan trying to break through on the final touch. Too long as they go right through almost 4 or 5 Chivas players. All compact central.
Same theme though, right down the middle.
All right, guys, I'm going to go back to something David Beckham said to us at halftime. He was very simple in his comment. He talked about getting more ball possession against Chivas. That was the way back for LA, according to David Beckham. And they haven't got it.
They start playing with that balloon, maybe. It's the only chance they got. I think that this team, you know, when you watch them, they're just, it's like I said earlier, there's the balloon. You can play with that if you want. Nobody's going to bother you. They lose the ball too quickly. 3, 4, 5 touches to find somebody. 1, 2, 3 to find somebody. You're going to rely on
running straight at the Chivas defense, lays it off to Martina. Shot it wide.
Yeah, but there was nothing wrong with those touches.
No, not at all.
Nothing.
But
I mean, Donovan set it up perfectly. I mean, Kaká did it last week, and everybody said it was a brilliant run. Donovan does it tonight. He places it where the ball should have been put in the back of the net, and you know you can't blame him. It's a great ball. It's a great run.
This is his talent. Look at him. He's running by Jesse Marsh for one. He can't touch him. He puts in a great ball.
That should have been the equalizer. I mean, talk about possession, talk about what you do with the ball. That was it. It was right there.
Yeah, well, and he's asking for it back. He's like, give it back to me. This team is just so reliant on those kind of plays. Everybody knows how talented Kyle Martino and Landon Donovan are. These are 2 very talented players, but it's the group effort. It's the fact that they just can't keep the ball, as David Beckham said. Can't find anybody. The movement's not really there.
It's Xavier to Gordon. Alan Gordon, who spent time with the Portland Timbers in the A-League. Here's Landon Donovan now. What a run that was from him.
This is a little bit better from them. That's where Martino needs to take people on, right there.
Chivas has 8 behind the ball right now. Top of the box is Vagenas. He drove it off the chest of Landon Donovan and gets called for the foul. MLS Primetime Thursday is presented by Adidas. Impossible is nothing. And in part by Panasonic. Catch all the action in crisp, clear Panasonic motion. Panasonic Plasma for the speed of sports. And Tanqueray Rangpur, the new mixable gin that goes with everything. Ready to Tanqueray, always in moderation. So Gavin Glinton will bring pace up front, Eric, for Carlos Pavone.
That's why he's out there, man. That's a speedy kid.
So 2 attacking moves here in the second half from Frank Yallop. One to bring on Roberts and get Klein pushed into midfield. And now the out-and-out speed of Gavin Glinton is on.
We'll just see probably more individual efforts out of LA.
Here's Martino. This is a huge game for the LA Galaxy. Just try and keep a faint glimmer of hope alive for their playoff picture. They've got the Houston Dynamo in here on Sunday. Things will not get any easier. Roberts, a good ball to Donovan, who's in. And he is onside. Glinton is in the box. Donovan cuts it back. Guzan picked it off at the feet of Gavin Glinton. Landon Donovan, though, starting to get unleashed here.
You got to say this was a lovely play. Landon Donovan finds himself in acres of space, looks up, realizes that there's a man coming down the middle, and just good defending. Chivas did a good job of denying the ball when they came across into the middle, but basically LA had done everything right until that stage.
See if this changes the game, or it'll be more of the same for Chivas. A little bit better the last couple of minutes ever since that surging run from Donovan.
The Chivas are helping them out. You can see how far out their back line has come. There's a lot of space behind that back line. If somebody can loop it in there using the speed of the man that they just took on.
Chivas fans are savoring the 1-0 lead here. But they've also seen the emergence of Landon Donovan here in the 68th minute. And this one is far from over.
Just a smart play by Jesse Marsh. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but that's just a smart play by him.
Ornstein kept it in. Another bad ball back, and it's picked off by Mendoza. Galindo beats one. You heard the contact. No call. They give advantage. Towards the back post. Flesh and shot. What a save from Cannon. He picked it out of the corner with his right hand.
And Alex Cruz is going to ask him to play it out, and they'll give him a card.
Yeah, I thought that was really good refereeing. He realized that, Xavier was going to give the card. He played the advantage. He let the rule go. And then when the ball went out, you got to say, thumbs up to the referee. He did a fantastic job on that. That's the way you call it.
There's the tackle. Very late, but you see him, both hands come out. Let that play progress. Sasha Kleshin finds himself in a good spot.
And we could hear that contact up here from Xavier when he missed the tackle and collided into Galindo.
Well, you knew the card was deserved. You just didn't know whether it was going to come or not, but the referee did very well.
Martino to Glinton.
That's better. There's a great third man run in from Landon. He wanted that pass, too.
Roberts knocks it in towards Gordon. Gordon is going to get called for a handball, I think. Flag was up from the linesman.
Yeah, he is signaling for a handball. Gordon's having a bad night.
The 2007 FIFA Women's World Cup continues on ESPN tomorrow. The U.S. taking on number 3 in the world, Sweden, at 4:55 a.m. Then at 7:55 a.m., England will face defending champions Germany. And the Women's World Cup is live on ESPN and ESPN 360. Guys, tough to see the women kind of back up against it.
They'll win that one, I think. I think they'll rise to the occasion. I think Greg Ryan's just got to sub when it's time to sub.
Yeah, you can't play with 10 women and not expect to give up something, especially 2 of them.
Galindo into the box. Lost control, and it enabled Cannon to smother it at the near post.
They call that actually a goal kick. Let's see
Francisco
what happened
Mendoza
here.
is down.
Galindo with a touch that took him over the byline.
It's Jesse Marsh playing a little game of tattletale there with Alex Cruz. That was the back payment for that foul in the first minute of the game with Pete Vianis and Jesse Marsh. You can't kick him. You just make sure you let the referee know that he's deserving of a yellow card.
Guys, things are getting desperate for the LA Galaxy. I mean, they've got to accumulate points, and they got to accumulate them now.
But guys, do they appear like they're playing with any sense of desperation right now? Of any sense of urgency? That's the question you got to ask yourself.
Or I would add purpose. Bahanis to Donovan. Looks like he's got purpose. Glavitt's got a shot blocked.
Caught offside again.
I don't know. I've seen some things here for the second half of the Galaxy playing well. Donovan, I said, had to step up and be the leader. I think he's doing that. They've created a few good opportunities. Just sometimes you just don't have that self-confidence to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think LA just needs something good to happen for them. And, you know, I thought on the weekend when they got their victory that might be the springboard to making a run at getting into the playoffs. Tonight it just hasn't gone right for them.
Well, let's face it, if Chivas USA, Eric, was a little more opportunistic tonight, they could be up 3-0 right now.
Yeah, and it's just...
Because LA has presented them chances tonight.
It's going to be a tough 20 minutes for Alex Cruz. I really believe that. We'll see that sense of urgency from LA pretty quickly here. You don't want to tune out on this one. This is going to get a little crazy.
Marsh changing it here to Bornstein. Good control from Jonathan Bornstein. Grew up in Southern California, went to UCLA. They try to work the 1-2 with Galindo, the Cuban. Donovan. Amazing change of direction to avoid a tackle there. Hits Vahanis. Chris Klein is wide open. They go to Gordon. They sucked out a center back. Did Gordon tie things up? No. They just don't have the pace up front.
You said it. You know, I didn't have to say it. On that play, you got to have the ability to just turn and go. And take one touch, get your head up, and get a shot off. You can't have two guys catch you that were 5 yards behind you.
And concerned look on the faces of David Beckham and his LA Galaxy teammates, but they do have a corner now. And Landon Donovan, as the Galaxy load the box up here in the 74th minute. Swings it in and headed out by Ante Razloff. Shot from Vahanis was off the mark and blocked.
Try and find Landon out wide. Probably your best bet.
Randolph, and he takes your advice and gets it to Donovan, who gets closed down quickly. Quick throw to Martino.
This is a little bit better from Los Angeles. They're trying to pin him in their own end for once. See, you can't wait to get fouled. Randolph's got to get the ball off his feet and find people and have the willingness to make those tough passes. The trust factor just isn't there.
Here's Randolph now. Desperate times for the LA Galaxy in the 74th minute.
Good run.
Gavin Clinton got across Shavar Thomas to Martino. Towards the end line, he gets brought down.
And that's what you need to see more out of Martino. First touch at him, second touch by him. This is a good chance. This is a very good opportunity for them to get back in this game. They should send everybody forward. Ty Harden will probably make his way all the way up front. They cannot let this chance go by. This has got to be a quality cross. It can't fly over everybody's head. It's got to be dangerous.
How about Beckham if he was here? He'd be setting himself up behind this one. A little bended like Beckham.
You got to have somebody coming into here. Open up that little spot back there. Somebody's got to sneak around. Sneak around into there. Drive it through there, though.
Lots of movement and in front of Brad Guzan.
No movement. Look at them. They're not just too stagnant. No runs.
They whip it towards the back post, fisted out by Guzan.
But what you'd rather see is those guys pull out of that space completely. Make them mark you. Get about 16 yards away from the goal. Don't just stand there and hope it hits you in the eyebrow. Get yourselves away from the net. Make those guys mark you, and then make that run in front of the net. That's much more difficult for a goalkeeper than have just 14 guys standing in front of you having a picnic.
Yeah, this time they pulled farther off, but you're right. They were all lined up on the 6. Donovan to take it again. Big moment here for the Galaxy. Can they deliver? Shot! Oh, what a chance for Robert. Shot from Martino was blocked.
Right idea, though. Hit that low through all that traffic.
The opportunity was there for Roberts. He came flying in and missed it on the original corner kick.
Donovan trying to get across. Guzan who spills it.
Wow.
Donovan is down.
Wow, he came down funny, too.
Not a good sign for LA. Meanwhile, Jesse Marsh goes the other way for Chivas USA. Donovan is now up. And seems to be okay. Here's Paulo Nagamura. And what a play from Vagenas.
Oh, he was just trying to thread the needle, trying to get it through to Galindo.
Like a monster mosh pit behind Joe Cannon. What a sight that is for MLS fans. Here's Donovan again. What a backheel from Donovan to Clinton. Deserved a better finish.
They see a great touch there to get Clinton in from Landon Donovan. But check this out. Once he gets in this spot, let's see if Brad Guzan ever touches him. Just a little bit, it catches him and forces him. Man, that's quite a spill, man. Brad Guzan's got him by about 80 pounds. I jumped too.
Some brave goalkeeping there and a huge play from Guzan.
And it took Donovan a second to get up. You see how that kind of shoulder went on. I'll give him credit for being back on his feet.
Right,
That was a tough hit.
He hit the ground pretty hard, traveling at that speed.
Here's Randolph. Donovan at the top of the box. Can't control it. Mendoza now.
Got a flare on the field. We'll see in a second.
Dozens of them out there.
Well, we were at the San Siro for a minute there, Tommy.
Feels like it.
I'll tell you what, shoot! I can't see.
Here's Mendoza.
Some of those colors look like Xavier's hair.
Question just walked around. Xavier, Question shot. Save Cannon at the near post. He's keeping him in it. Question just gliding in rather easily. Donovan making the run. And here's Landon Donovan. Huge play from Hernandez to provide the cover.
Well, we all talk about Landon Donovan has to get into the game. He has to get closer to the goal. He's certainly doing that here in the second half, and he's put on some commitment. He just failed a touch or two on the ball.
It's like an inch away from greatness. He's had a couple of opportunities to run onto some of those passes. They just haven't worked out for him. This is something we haven't seen in this stadium ever.
Let's take a look at tonight's upcoming calendar brought to you by Heineken. Here's the upcoming LA Galaxy games just to further validate that point of them being their schedule being backloaded. LA gets a bit of time off being at the Home Depot Center today. Sunday they host the MLS Cup champion Houston Dynamo. Then Wednesday they take on Real Salt Lake. And then September 23rd, Danielson and FC Dallas come to Carson.
I think they're going to stop this thing for a while.
Now, interesting moment, guys, because I'm wondering here right now, who does this stoppage and play benefit, guys? LA or Chivas USA?
Oh, I think it favors Chivas because LA have been running them and running at them and running at them. And it's going to give it a chance to settle down now. I'm not sure the smell favors anybody, but you know the way those things go, Glenn.
Let's go now to Alan Hopkins. Alan?
Thanks, Glenn. I just talked to the fourth official, Kevin Stott, who talked to Alex Prost, the man in the middle. He said he's going to wait till everything clears out. More importantly, he wanted to let everyone know to get security into that part of the stadium so no more flares or objects to be thrown in the field. That's the latest from here.
All right, Alan, good job down there on the sideline giving you the information why this one has
Who is that masked man? I guarantee it was him.
You know it's a big game when a luchador is here.
Let's take a look at Panasonic game shots. Here's Razov. Xavier just looking miserable on that play. He's not going to want to watch that again. Watch his feet. Everybody thinks he's going to the left. He's like, fine, I'll take that. Razov sticks it over to the far post, and it's 1-0. That's the way it's stayed for now. Take that.
Rookie John Cunliffe has now come on for Chivas USA.
There's some numbers going forward now for the Galaxy.
Michael Galindo has gone off for Chivas USA. Randolph turns it towards the back post. And Mendoza has to head to safety. LA will get the corner here in the 81st minute.
It's a great individual effort from Randolph. I mean, they're relying too much, I think, on individual effort. As you see a collective effort, I think, from Chivas, too many times they're relying on that guy to run through people. And on that last occasion, it was Randolph. But it's going to come down to a set piece. If they're going to get something, it's going to be on a play like this.
Towards the near post, a header. And Roberts again.
Not when you swing and miss like that, you won't score. I mean, the ideal opportunity again, the ball played into the box. The Galaxy have nobody to blame but themselves. They're just not capitalizing on the opportunities tonight.
Razov's got his goal, so he'll be the next one to take a break.
So Merlin comes on, the young Frenchman.
There was an exchange the last time we saw Razov pulled out of a game, exchange between Preki. Let's see if they shake hands this time. That's good to see.
MLS Primetime Thursday presented by Adidas continues next week. We'll get a first look at Cuauhtemoc Blanco here on ESPN2. The resurgent Chicago Fire, they take on FC Dallas and the Brazilian Denilson. Cuauhtemoc Blanco has been lighting it up in MLS for the Chicago Fire. He's basically brought them back into playoff contention. MLS Primetime Thursday next week at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN2. Guys, he is living up to it.
Yeah, you just look at what happened tonight. I mean, give Blanco those kind of opportunities and he'll definitely stick one or two away for you. And that's the difference. I mean, if you have somebody who can finish it off, they can finish off a game for you.
And let's not forget Paulo Wanchope also lining up for the Chicago Fire. Here's Abelak Xavier. Donovan.
Oh.
He's chopped out from behind by Nagamura.
He couldn't get the card out fast enough.
Oh, Donovan's getting a lot of rough treatment out there. First the keeper got him, Guzan, and now as he comes down through the middle. But when you make yourself a target like he has, and you're going for the ball, there's going to be a lot of contact.
Look, these guys used to be teammates. And there's a lot of it that has been said about Nagamura. Had to leave this club simply because he couldn't play with Landon. As much as you want to believe that is true or not, that's just a late tackle. It's a little personal to me.
Here's Clint now. Into the box, headed out by Hernandez. Donovan trying to get a touch around Nagamura, who promptly gives it back to the Galaxy. Here's Roberts. 84th minute. Desperate times for the LA Galaxy, down 1-0.
Not just on the game plan, but practically on the season.
Yeah, every game a must-win game now. Randolph will get it over. Back post is Klein.
Just overran it.
And Shavard Thomas clearing the area. So Chivas USA now under heavy pressure, being pinned in their own half here as LA trying to tie this up.
And now they're playing quick. Now they're playing with a little bit of urgency. They want to go forward. This should have been 20 minutes ago.
Roy Roberts.
Too many touches.
Lahanis towards Klein. Another bad ball put him in a difficult situation, and he earns the free kick. So another set piece for the LA Galaxy with Landon Donovan standing over this ball.
Well, you just wonder how many Chivas can give up without getting bitten. They haven't managed to do this.
It's a smart move.
LA hasn't gotten them yet.
Smart move right now by Landon. He moved that about 5 yards closer. Now they're getting a pretty good spot. Try and get that right into there. There's got to be traffic coming through there. There's got to be runs. Do you see how they're inching too close now? They got to back up. There's nowhere for Landon to cross this ball. They don't back up a little bit. They got nowhere to run.
Whipped it in. Ball through everybody. Headed out by Chivas USA. Xavier to Donovan, who's going to turn the corner and walk the end line. Can he get it over? No. Huge play from Bornstein, and he clears. Donovan absolutely skinned Mendoza on the end line.
It started with the cross, and then he did skin him. And it's all been Landon. Landon's doing everything that he possibly can to save this team.
The ball should have been in the back of the net from the
It was almost like a clearance. It was almost like a clearance. I don't know why these guys are laughing. Don't laugh. It's not funny.
So Roberts off the throw to Klein now. Chivas USA are only minutes away from winning the series against LA this year for the first time ever, and claiming bragging rights in the city of Los Angeles. They share the stadium, they share the training facilities. Loss of possession as Randolph's pass goes out of play. Chivas USA also, if they can hold on, will go into first place in the Western Conference, leapfrogging the defending MLS Cup champions, the Houston Dynamo. Bad pass, Donovan wins it back. Here's Roberts.
What a weekend it should be, huh?
Great time of year in Major League Soccer. Clinton called for the foul. 87th minute. Question. Cunliffe got it wide. This is Mendoza. Backing in Roberts. Mendoza lost it to Vahenas. Good tackle from him.
No question about it. I mean, since the hour mark, LA have completely outplayed Chivas. I know Chivas have been a little bit of sitting back there and trying to force them, but it's a dangerous game.
Alan Gordon now leaves it for Klein. 88th minute. Only minutes left in this one. Chivas USA holding the 1-0 lead.
I don't think Gordon can go anymore. He just ran himself out.
Mendoza now, space on the left side to make it two. Shot, and he does! Chivas USA sticks in the final dagger here in the 88th minute. Only Mendoza's second goal of the year coming in the 88th minute.
Well, I remarked about it earlier. If you leave him as much real estate as they were leaving him, he was going to punish you. Look at this, the speed inside, and there's the bulge of the onion bag. Beautiful goal. Keeps it down, keeps it low, keeps it away from Cannon, and that's just a beautiful strike. And that should be all she wrote.
Not just for the game. That might be it for the season. That's a dagger. Yeah, we know who you are. Worst to first. Chivas USA.
2 years ago, they only won 4 games. They've been dominated traditionally in this series by the LA Galaxy. Tonight is going to be one of the brightest moments in the history of Chivas USA. Here's Landon Donovan now.
What a turnaround. It's almost a year more since the last year. This has proved to be a very happy hunting ground for them. They've made a fortress out of it.
This guy, Preki, has continued what Rob Bradley began, has enhanced it, and has a team hitting all cylinders at this stage of the year, Eric. Could they be entertaining thoughts of an MLS Cup?
I think so. I think Preki doesn't know we have a camera on him. I think somebody's got to tell him. He keeps shooting him there. He's, in my opinion, what he has done is pick up where Bob's left off. He had a great core. And it's just, It's their willingness to trust each other. And whether that has been instilled from the players or from Preki himself, doesn't matter. This is great soccer.
Question, Merlin in front of him. Tried to bring in Cunliffe. Merlin trying to get his first. Off the post and in. Laurent Merlin. Goal number 3 for Chivas USA. Adding insult to injury.
Frank Yallop says nothing else can go possibly wrong. This was just a case of a few bounces on the ball, and all of a sudden it's in the back of the net. How do you give it away like that? It looks like, look at, just the best pass he could get, got from the defender, and he just snapped it in off the bottom of the post.
You know, it's so bad right now for the Galaxy that when Joe Cannon finally got mad enough, he kicked the ball at the Chivas fans, and he missed. He put it up on the grassy knoll up there.
How could you miss all those fans?
I don't know. It can't get any worse for this team.
Well, Chivas of Guadalajara, their sister team, formed in 1906, has incredible history tonight. Chivas USA, in only their 3rd year of existence, creating their own history, as they are going to, for the first time in their 3-year existence, tape the Super Classico and make it their own here in the 2007 season. Bahanis goes down hard.
There is a cup that goes with this rivalry, isn't there?
Super Classico Cup with the name of former Galaxy general manager Doug Hamilton on it. Mendoza will just knock it over the halfway line.
It's always a danger, Glenn, when you start pushing up like LA did. They committed everybody to go forward. They left themselves with a lot of holes at the back, and Chivas could take advantage of it. I think this is a team that can go a long way this year, Chivas.
Early ball over the top here towards Gordon. 4 minutes of stoppage time has been added. Gordon's shot is blocked.